Всем привет!
Hello everyone.
Ну, давай.
Good evening, guys. Welcome back. Glad to see you all. Let's start our stand-up meeting. And today, Dana will be the first. Dana, you are muted.
Yes, I got it. Good evening. So I completed my SQL homework. I did miss 2 questions that I kind of struggled with, so I just wanted to have it something done, so I completed that. I did some more practice on that, and otherwise no blockers.
Okay, good. Tatiana.
Hello everyone. I completed my individual task in Jira. I completed quiz SQL, and I prepared to discuss 6 interview questions. No blockers.
Good. Only 6?
Yes, because for example, 4th and 6th, I have one answer for these questions, but we will discuss it later.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it later. Lisa will be the next.
Hi everyone. Telling the truth, I spent a lot of time learning SQL, and I almost done homework, but a few, 3 more left. I'm planning to do them, to finish them right away. Our session ends. I completed queries on production, and I prepared to discuss interview question, but not all the a few more. I didn't have time to. No blockers so far.
Okay, great. Thank you. Galina?
Good evening, everyone. Me too, I completed the second quiz on production about SQL, about database. And I'm still working on the rest of homework. The main blocker for me is lack of time, because I need to finish my project with my company, with my current company. But all my time I spend on the homework. So I'm almost done.
Okay, good. Nina will be the next.
Hi everyone. I finished the questionnaire on the production. Also, I finished my query, including those for the home page, the Ask project. And I was searching in the internet for answers to questions. I don't have real obstacles, but probably I have more like questions about how to write test case bug report for bugs on the side of database, or how to write more quality queries, something like this.
I didn't get the final sentence. What problems you are having with
what?
Writing queries?
Writing queries, exactly what I asked about. It's like I wrote my queries, but the 2 last, or probably not last, like 22 and 2020, with the aggregate function max. I would like to write something more quality.
Okay.
Because right now they worked, but how about more complicated cases when we have not one but several rows with the same maximum number, for example.
Okay. I know how to do this with minimum number, because minimum number will be equal to 1, right? Then you can expand. Okay, let's do it when we will discuss those queries.
Because we have several groups with only one number.
That's true. Okay. I will show you how to deal with that. Thank you, Nina. And the next will be Anna. Anna K.
Good evening, everyone. I completed a task in Jira about verifying data in database. I completed the SQL quiz on production. Next, I also looked at the interview questions and trying answering them. That's it. No blockers.
Good.
Thank you.
And next will be Sabrina.
Good evening, everybody. I completed my tasks, the ones that were assigned to me on Jira, and the quiz on production, prepared the interview questions, and also filed some bugs for the teacher homepage assignment we had.
Okay, great. Thank you. Michael?
Good evening, folks. I completed SQL assignment, but I was wondering, I was looking what actually others did, and I was comparing with I don't really understand some of the equations, some of the queries, because everybody have a little bit different and a little bit different result, but everybody's supposed to think that they finished. So I'm still kind of doubting which one is which and which one is more effective or more short in this or that way. I'm in the middle of the quiz right now, and mostly this is it. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Artyom?
Good evening, everybody. I completed everything that was prescribed to be completed. It's only I had the question about the queries, question number 20. It was that minimum and maximum. I had problems how to set the limit to just the first line of the results of the query, how to introduce it in that code. Everything else was fine.
Good. I hope it was easy. Thank you. The next will be Tina. Okay. Dina?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize that's me. Good evening, everyone. So I have completed almost my database for the SQL. I worked on interview questions, not all of them, but still working. I almost finished, but not yet. So I'm still working. I'm still in process.
Okay.
But everything is fine.
Aslanbek will be the next.
Good evening, everyone. I have completed my quiz in production. Then I finished the task on SQL, but I have some questions about it, because some queries which were working on class doesn't work in this Heidi SQL database. So I'm a little bit confused about these queries, but I'm sure it works because the same one worked in class. So maybe the SQL we have different. Heidi works on MySQL, yes?
Yes.
So maybe MySQL has different commands than.
Okay, I'm planning that we will go through the most difficult ones, the ones that presented some problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
We will review, and then I will post my version. So I saw that you guys shared already your solutions, right? I can post mine as well for your future. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And the next will be Anna Panfield.
Hello, everyone. So I submitted my quiz in production. I completed my task.
I had one blockers with question 21. So I need to update the document which was attached. Also, I reviewed more materials, our materials about SQL, and prepared to discuss today some of the interview questions.
Excellent. Arthur will be the next. Arthur, you're muted. Arthur, Jason?
Yes, I'm here. Yes. Sorry, I'm here. I'm back. Hello, class. Good evening, everyone. So for today, I worked on the SQL assignment, did submit it, left it in development as it needs the finishing touch. And also I took my SQL quiz, submitted it, and no blockers. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Regina?
Good evening, everyone. I finished my SQL task, and I moved it to Don and Jira. And I also finished the quiz, and no blockers.
Good. So you didn't have any problems with any of the queries, right?
There were some queries that I had like a little bit of a struggle with. So I'm hoping we'll be able to, or I'm hoping that will be the ones that we're going to go over today, okay, so we could look over. Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you. And finally, Julia.
Good evening. So I submitted my quiz on production. I completed verified database tasks and moved them to done section. And I finished to answering questions which you assigned, interview questions.
Okay, I think I missed Camila.
Yes, good evening, everyone. So today I completed my quiz in production. I submitted. I also completed the SQL queries. I had some confusion with some questions, so I hope we can clarify today and go through the questions. And no other blockers.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. So let's start our class, and we will look into solutions of the most difficult query. So let me start recording.
Recording in progress.
And which queries presented the most difficulty? Can we go through some of them, guys? So please name the ones that you would like to discuss. Hello?
I would like to discuss 20 and 22.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm here, please.
Okay, so 20 and 22. So
and 19.
So what is 19?
Show all assignments for one user. Actually, I didn't get the task. Should we choose one user?
Show all assignments for one user.
Or for each user?
Show all assignments for one user.
We have to choose one user.
Where we decide, right?
So in this query, guys, we have to select the name of the user. Probably we can add the user ID so that some of the names may be duplicated, right? And we need to select the number of students. Therefore, we will be using count of IDs, right? Count of assignments. So, and we're going to combine two tables. So, first of all, we'll have to select ID from users, right? Users ID. And users name. By the way, name may be given without the alias because it is only in one. This feed is only represented in one table. Then we will select count. This is the keyword count of assignment ID. From users, and we will join. Oh yay. Join assignments. One user ID equals assignments user ID. Okay, and now we need to group by user ID. By user ID. Okay, let's try. So we have name, right, and ID and the count of assignments.
So the task was to show
assignments for one user. So this user has
quantity of assignments.
Yeah, this is the number of assignments.
I thought that we need the name of the.
Okay, so we also can group them, right, by count ID. It will be from the biggest number to smallest number, or we can group by name, so order by, not group by, order by name. Does it make sense?
Karina, can I ask a question?
Yes.
I actually made it completely different. I don't know if that makes any sense. But I put a select A quiz, A assignment group ID, and U ID from users, U and assignments.
1 second. Dana, can you share your...
Yes.
In our...
Yeah, I'm gonna share a screen. Hold on just a second, please.
Okay. You can share either screen or you can share your statement.
Okay. Let me share the screen very quickly.
You can put it in chat. Just.
Oh, okay. I'll put it in chat. That's a great idea. Yeah, hold on just 1 second, please. I don't know if that makes any sense because it gave me one user, just user ID, and okay. So I share it on the chat. It just gave me, the ID number and the assignment quiz. But I don't know if that makes any sense, if that's correct at all.
That assignment from users, limit 1. Okay. Select a quiz, a assignments. 1 second, let me reproduce this.
We don't see the video. Okay, good.
So this is, right? Select.
Yeah.
Quiz, assignment group ID, user ID from users. Okay, but you didn't do any joining.
No, I know.
So
yeah.
Then what is the purpose?
I just saw that, it gave me the quiz and the assignment for one user.
It doesn't give you the number. We need to get the number of quizzes or assignments for one user. So this is totally wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions?
Galina, I had a question. What if we want to get the name and all the quizzes that that person has done? Like, is there a query for that? Is it possible to get that data instead of the count?
No, this is the count, right? But we first need to select, and it would be a more complicated query that will some kind of a nested query. Let's do simple things first, okay? So we definitely need to get it, and then we will have to add one more, which will show the name of this selection. Let's do it. Everything is possible, but it will be more complicated. You will have to either get a view or a nested query. Okay? Let's do our exercises. Simple thing first.
Yeah, okay. I thought that was the question. That's why I'm asking.
No, just the number of quizzes for...
The main problem was that we need to know number of assignments. Yeah, that I started with.
Okay, what else? Which other queries you would like to discuss?
20.
What is this? Show minimum and maximum?
Yes, that one.
Okay, so again, we will have to okay, so we will have to select count group. And group is in backquotes. We can say, give it a name as, right? As number of students. Then we will select the group itself from users. We don't have to combine this, right? Everything is just within one and the same table. Group by group. And order by the number of students. Okay, so let's try to run this one. Okay, so it gives us the breakdown of the number of students in every group, right? If we do descending, right? Then we will have the top number. So here, right, it will come the first. And if we limit the report to the first line, then we will get the maximum number. What about the minimum number?
Galin, I think that 14 is actually not for student, it's for teacher. When you need to say that it's only for students.
Yeah. Because, okay, then we definitely have to add where the row is
student.
Right. From users, we definitely need to add where row. No. Equals student.
Galina, can you explain please one more time for me these quotes, the quotes on group?
This is the limitation of this database, MySQL. So it accepts the word group as a keyword. And so to bypass this, right, this is like escape character, so that it does not take this as a keyword, we put those back quotes.
Can you go ahead?
I just have question about this query. So when we didn't limit it to one, there was showing that there was actually 3 students had the same number of of assignments.
But
So
that the number of students will be still 8, right? So we need to show the groups. Okay, you can extend this to 3 or 2, and then it will be shown.
so it should be done manually, adjust manually.
First, right, you can take first. Because we don't know the maximum number. Again, you will have to identify the maximum number and then add it to the query, right?
Okay, but is there like more complicated maybe way with nested query when you do like minimum, maximum, something like that?
Yeah, it will be possible. Let's think it over and come up with the solution next time. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
But with the minimum number, it will be easy because the minimum number will be which one? 1, right? So we will do the same. So select count, group, row, and group by group. And then in the selection, we need to add having number of students equal 1. So the same way will be with this maximum number. So you just need to identify the maximum number there as well. And then again, order by group. And we'll get the groups having just 1 student.
Galina, I have a question about these queries. Can you hear me?
Yes.
If we have such question in the interview, will it be enough to show these queries, or they need something else?
Again, it depends on the assignment that you will get. So during your personal interview, right, you may be given 2 tables, very simple tables, and you will be given an assignment to do selection. So you will have to demonstrate your knowledge of joins, right? It can be either left or right join or inner join, right? And again, there may be some aggregation functions as well. So this will be probably the most difficult one. But if it will be your home assignment, right, there may be even more complicated tasks. Like last couple of weeks ago, one of my students shared with me her assignment that she got. She was given an application for a test, mobile application. She was given access to this mobile application, and she had to create a presentation up to 20 minutes duration, and she had to describe this application, provide her testing approach, write some tests, find some bugs, and even suggest some optimization of this application. So I will share with you some of the assignments that my students received, and that will be your home task. But of course not this complicated about creating some presentation. Okay? All right, any more questions related with select queries?
Galina, but for us it's not working, this query. I run it and it's showing like just the total of the students and that's all.
Maybe you have some mistakes. So again, select count group as number of students and group, right? From user, where roll is equal to student, group by group, having number of student equal 1 and order by group.
It's not showing anything. It's like,
yeah, it's not working for me either. It's just showing the group
and for me it's
doesn't give me the result.
Okay, guys, maybe I will copy and add it to the chat.
And maybe the stuff that I added to the chat, you can take a look.
Okay. This one? Select as group name from users, group by group. Okay. Error. You have an error. Check the manual that corresponds the version from users, group by group. Okay, so there are some syntax mistakes.
Oh, I see. But cannot figure out what's wrong.
Okay, so you want to select count group as group name. So group as group name.
What's the number of your questions?
What's this group as group name?
That would just be
group as group number, something, because as works as a keyword when you create a new column. You see, this is a mistake. You have to put it here. Select count group as group number or number of students as number of students in a group.
Oh, but he can do the column group as group name as well.
Why?
Why not? He wants to show that group has a...
Group will be the name of the group already. Group will be the name of the group.
Yeah, but renaming it as group name wouldn't make a mistake.
Naming the group as group will not be a mistake, right? But what is the purpose of it?
Yeah, you know, if you really remove that limit one, then it's working, but it's just not picking up the one.
But here we have the. Okay, 1 second. Like this? No, it doesn't. Okay, guys, let's move on. So this is definitely a mistake. From users, group by should be also group by. It doesn't pick up it as the keyword group by. Okay, now it is good. And again, order by count group descending. And descending also is not taken as the order by as number of students group. We may say now as number of students group. Okay. And if we take just one, but it will return everything with one, right? Oh no, group by group order, and then you limit to one. But again, we have more than one group with minimum number. Therefore, it is better to having this additional having clause. All right, let's move on, guys. What else?
Thank you.
Galina, is there like a clear command for MySQL, or do we have to select and delete everything?
I don't know. Maybe there is. But
okay.
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, what else?
Galina, could you please explain, for example, in question 21, it said like find those students who did not get any assignments so far. So could you please just go to the tables with data on the database and show which field is it? Because I see the fields like in assignment, there is like submitted at, created at, updated at, graded at. So it's like a little bit confusing. Could you please provide the correct answer for number 21, because it's,
okay.
I just don't know which field was correct to pick.
All right. So what I was thinking when I was writing this, so we need to combine two tables, and I guess we need to select the students who are not reflected in assignments. It means that they will not have an assignment, right? So if we say that user ID in assignment table is null, will return us the correct answer.
That's what I thought.
Let's do it. So we will select user ID, and again, I'm taking user ID and name because we may have several people with the same name, right? And name. And user ID. Okay, and again, this one doesn't require the alias because it is presented only in one table from users.
Can I ask you? But yes. We can put any line.
Yeah, we can put.
You can put.
It is possible, but you may omit it because it will be 100% necessary only if it is represented in both tables, and then SQL will not understand which one you are referring to. It will throw you an error. From users, and from users, and join assignments. On users ID equals assignments user ID, where a user ID is null. Okay. It should be, and role equals student. We also can add active, right? Because equals 1. Okay, and let's try it.
Galina, I think you should use left join, because join will give the only those students who are assigned some topics.
Left join. Oh, right. Okay, good.
Strange. I have like 9 results, even more. Just 9.
Garina, this user ID is the ID of the student, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, find the students who did not get any assignments. So shouldn't the assignments be null or something? We're looking for students who are not available, or assignments. I mean, students who haven't got assignments.
Who did not get any assignments.
So this result, how does it show us that the students didn't get any assignment?
They are not represented in the table. It means that they didn't have any assignments.
Okay, but the query doesn't have anything that talks about the assignment. I mean, that says
that they are not represented in the assignments table. We are joining it, right? And the user ID is now there. It means that the students are not represented there. It means that they didn't get any assignments.
Oh, okay.
So we're not talking about assignment group ID is null. We're talking about assignment user ID.
Right. Okay. Any more?
Can we do 22nd question?
The last one?
Yes.
The student who get maximum number of assignments. Okay. So again, we are combining 2 tables, and we will select name, and we will select the number, right? Count IDs from the assignments table. So we will use alias and ID. We can say as number of assignments, as number of assignments. From users, and join assignments. User ID. Assignments. User ID. Again, we need to limit the student role, right? Where role is student. And we will group by user ID.
and order by. User ID and order by number. Assignments. And we can say again descending. Then we will limit. One. Let's try one first. Student. Okay, select name. So Anna had 36 assignments. Okay.
Can you please copy that to the chat as well?
Sure. All right. What about the homepage? What about this one? Any solutions about this?
It seems it has a bug about new submissions, so it's not 30, it's much less.
Okay. What is your solution? Would you share?
You mean query?
Yeah.
Oh, one moment. I put it in the chat.
Okay, so select count ID from assignments where status is submitted and result is pending and graded at is null. And we have 12. So, and what is this? The one that
is new submissions that need to be graded.
That needs to be graded. Waiting for that needs to be graded.
Guys, I have attached in the chat my query and I got another result.
Okay, and Anna,
326.
Anna's solution, select count of everything from assignments where graded by is none and result is pending. And you have again another number. Okay, can you give me your way of thinking? What were you looking at? Which status submitted, result is pending, and graded at?
Yes, graded at none because it's not graded by teacher and is not graded automatically. So this was my thinking.
Okay, so if we go to assignments and we have graded by, we don't have graded at, we have graded by.
Yes, graded by, and it says none.
That is the date, right? So we probably need to research for those who are looking, who are waiting for the teacher's manual involvement, right? So we probably will ignore this graded at. This
No,
is
but in my query is graded by, not at.
graded by. Do we have any nuns in graded by? See?
Yes.
We have nuns.
Yes.
And okay.
And I tried manually. For example, I assign a quiz for a student, and then I verify one more time, and number increase in the database.
Okay. Any other thoughts, guys? What is this none?
I mean, it's not graded by teacher, and it's not graded automatically. So it's assigned, but it's not graded.
And it is not submitted. It means this none, right?
Yes.
But it hasn't been submitted. It was assigned, but you see everywhere with this graded by none, submitted at now. It means that the student did not provide any answer, so it is not waiting for the teacher's grading. I would say that we need to be working with this. Okay, I will select count ID. From assignments. Where graded by, and let's look, graded by is, we have automatic, right? It needs teacher's grading, so we first need to get this automatic. And then result will be pending or failed. Pending will be why? Because it has some textual questions, right? Or failed, also maybe some of them will be failed. We remember that, right? So I would add graded by equals automatic. And result in pending failed. Then it will be correct.
So yes, now I see. I thought it need to be which student get the quiz but not submitted. This was my thinking, but now I understand. Thank you.
Okay, and then this one will be easy, right? It will also be automatic, but the result will be passed, right? So we will use this one. From assignments automatic and result equals no.
Yes, but it says which and passed but got the minimum score. So which means it's failed. Or
maybe I need to refresh. Yeah, you see? It is working, but I didn't refresh my page. So now it is accurate. And in this connection, guys, I saw that you filed some bugs with the homepage mat card content. And by the way, I was able to update my project configuration. It is not an easy task, by the way, so I can show you how to do this. So in this project settings, we have to work with those workflows that are related to this bug. So this is our issue types and different statuses of our workflow. And here, okay. And here in this bug workflow, you can see all of our statuses here, and I added to closed one more screen. So I had to, and by the way, everything was in place yesterday, but I forgot to publish this workspace. So it's not an easy procedure. So, and then I added one more screen to this, so that when we close some of the bugs, we will select the resolution. And by the way, I updated your tickets, you see? So it is now in closed status and the resolution is duplicate. So let's do some updates here. So number of submissions need to be graded is displayed. Okay, this we already, sidebar is hidden if user presses escape. Okay, that was the last one. Now let's look some new bug reports that you have provided. The number of submissions, of new submissions.
Yes, but my query is wrong in this case. We just discussed this query and it is wrong.
Okay, so but how would you report this? The number of new submissions that need to be graded is displayed, does not correspond, right? The number in the database. So try to make it shorter. And then you just provide the query and some screenshots. Okay, so we are going to close this one, right? We will go to our workflow. We will close this and we will select the resolution, works as designed. And we can provide the comment. Wrong query was provided. Wrong query. And close. Okay. What other?
Galina, I had a question. When you go and close the query or you mark it as duplicate, you're doing it like as if you're the developer who's doing that, right? I mean, we can't do that as QS.
So you can do it on your own, right? Or you remember that we are going through the existing bugs during our bug triage meeting, and we close them if there are any duplicates, or we certify that this is a feature, or it can be referred to the next, deferred, right? Postponed to the next. There are different resolutions that can be offered here. And one more time. In the workflow, this is also the wrong one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
yes,
we will close this one and we will select works as designed. We will not do it. We will put it into the next release. So we will select some of the resolutions that are offered by Jira, and even some customized resolutions can be added as well.
So what we are doing right now is an extension of our bug triage that we had earlier.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but if we're not doing the bug triage, then a developer will be doing that, right? Or whoever it is assigned to.
Right. He will close it, and or he may say return it to the person with the comment that he cannot reproduce. So the person who opened the bug will be closing it. This is the rule. So you open the bug, you need to close it. But you need to provide either certification that it has been fixed, right? Or you will agree and you close it, that it is a feature, or it is, and again, this bug will have some history of communications between you and developer, and maybe the product owner may be involved and provide some comments. So this ticket that is on the active board is transparent. Everyone in the team can see it, right? So, and it will stay until you delete it, right? If you delete it, it won't be seen. But if you close it, the history of all the comments will be there.
Okay, so if we open it, we are the ones who have to close it as the QA.
Yes. Right.
Okay. And all the other resolutions that are there, duplicate, won't fix, everything the QA only has to put in after communication with the developer, or he can also do it himself?
He can also do it himself. Or you see, you accidentally put something and you didn't check, and then you went through it, right? And you can close it as a duplicate, or you can delete it. Sometimes you can only move the tickets, but you don't have the right to delete. Again, the product owner or the project owner, the Scrum Master, or the person who is responsible for this configuration may give you or may not give you some rights to delete the tickets.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Galina.
Okay. All right. So this one will be closed as worked as designed. Okay. Going back, fresh, and then, okay. Logout confirmation message grammatically incorrect. Okay, what's this one? Grammar confirmation. Are you sure? Want to log out? Okay, I agree. So, what is the priority of this? Lowest, sure. So it will stay for a while in our backlog. And then teacher homepage, mismatch between new submissions and suggests number of submissions in the database. And again, I guess it's the same, right? Right. So
yes.
We will close this one. As designed. And error typo, assignment statistic card. Okay. Which one? There are assignments, was submitted but waiting for. Okay, so what will be the suggestion? How should it be changed?
It's there in the bug report, Galina. I don't remember what it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be graded instead of submitted or something. If you just go back to the bug report.
I mean, it is the typo. So there are 4 assignments in total. I would say I would just omit this. 140 submitted and 33 waiting for. This would be a good option. So with localization into Russian, I had a hard time of working with the endings that were supposed to be displayed in the Russian version. Yeah. Okay, this is again lowest priority, right? But it can be fixed. Okay. And content doesn't scroll up on the page resize. What is this one? So doesn't scroll up when page size height is reduced. Content goes under the top view and user can access it. It's reproducible in both in teachers and application. Okay, it's probably better to watch the movie. And how? Okay. Is it all? I didn't get it.
I think maybe you started from the middle or something. Maybe if you play it again.
Only 20 seconds. Ah, I see. Okay. Okay, I see it now. Okay, good. Good catch. Valid bug. And the snap card content shows the number of submissions, shows the total submitted. Okay, is this the same that we already discussed? Okay. Assignments not now upgraded by now. Okay, sure, we will close this because we already know that it's just the wrong query. Total submitted, markup content shows waiting for student submissions. Okay, I will close them later. So, guys, any questions? Please keep working. I suggest that you don't forget this part of your activities, and from time to time return to database. Work with different other tutorials so that you don't forget SQL. Okay?
Can I ask you, what about our tasks? Will you review them?
No, guys, I'm going to review them. We reviewed the most difficult, right? So I can post the answers in the channel, and you will do your own work to correct your mistakes. Okay? All right. So, now I wanted to ask you guys to, this is our active sprint. And so once you finished, right, you can definitely move it into done. But we still have some tickets in ready for review. What is this one? This is because assignment group assignment. And what is this one? Only one. What do we verify here? Assignment date, number, student group will be displayed in the assignments tab. Okay, do we have Vikas with us? Vikas, are you with us? Then I will provide my comments, but I definitely will have to move it back. And what else? Homepage links. I think we have already discussed this, right, Dana? And you have everything here. The only thing that I would appreciate if you do this homepage for the teacher and homepage for the student, but it doesn't matter. So I think that you covered everything, all the links, right? Okay, so this can be moved into done, I guess. And we still have some of the tasks that are still in to do or in progress. So what will be our next step? So I will show you guys how to create a test execution. And I will reassign your test executions so that someone will be running your test cases that you have created. And I expect that you will provide your opinion on your teammate work. So you need to go through all the steps, try to reproduce them, and provide some feedback, whether it is clear enough, whether the wording is good, maybe some steps or some data is missed. Because again, guys, I didn't have opportunity to look through each and every of your steps, right? I just verified the basic approach for creating your tests. And this will be a good chance for you to perform peer review. So how to create a test execution? And I will ask you guys just to watch, and later on I will share with you the instruction how to do this with all the detailed steps. So I would ask you first to save some ideas of the tasks and test sets that you have created. Okay, so this example I will take. I can do it from some other group. So I will open another project. Okay, and and search for issues in project tasks that contain steps to create test set. Okay, so ACT 25 will be the task, and another will be ACT 48. Okay, and if I look inside those, oh my gosh, it doesn't have anything. So now test sets, it's better to go from this one. And task I need to do. Okay, ACT 117 will be the test set first name, and ACT 142 will be the test set for Daria Wadavits. So she created those 2 test sets. And I need to see the number of her test tasks. And task. ACT 1. And the task for the second. ACT 25. Okay, so I got all the information that I need to start working on the test execution. And I will click on Create, and I will select the issue type test execution. And in the summary, I will put the titles of the test sets that were created. Assignment date, and registration first name. And in the description, I put something like feedback to Daria's tasks, and I will put her tasks ID, ACT 1 and ACT 25. And I will click on Create. And this will be my new ticket, which will have type test execution. And I will have this add button. I will click on this add button and I will add tests. And I have already my test IDs, right? So it will be ACT 117 and ACT 143. And then I will add selected. And here we go. So you will have all the steps from both test sets. And you will just create this, but please don't execute. Because I will have to reassign your tasks, your test execution, that someone else will be working with it. So once you create this test, I will see it on our board. You need, guys, to add this to the board. So you...
Excuse me, Galina. What do you mean when you say don't please execute?
Okay, here, when we created this execution, you see you can click and start executing those. Don't execute it yourself. I will reassign your test execution to someone else.
So maybe you will press the button, not we.
I will not press the button. Somebody else will be doing this.
No, don't execute your...
Don't execute your test execution. Create it, and I will assign it to someone else, so that you will get the peer review from your teammates.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay? And then you will also execute maybe, I don't know, Anna's or Artyom's test execution. So as soon as I see your test execution added to our board, right, I will start reassigning them. Okay? Any questions?
Galina, so what we are doing is we are making this test execution for our own test sets and tasks that we,
That's true. So you select your tasks, right? Your own tasks, the ones that you were working. And you indicate. So why is it easy? Because you need to provide the numbers when you add tests, right? You will easily add them by the numbers that exist in our database, that exist in Jira already. Not by the name, but by the key. So first of all, put down the name of the task and the name of the test set it has. One more time. Do you want me to show you once again?
Yes, please.
Yeah, please.
Yes, please.
I'm going back to the issue navigator and okay, Lana. Lana, users management. Okay. So ACT 33 is the task, create test set, user management, right? And the test set number is ACT 450. Okay, another task for Lana. Do we have another Lana's task? Let me see. Okay, I will add David's then. No. Okay, ACT 33. So it doesn't matter. So I can add to one test execution several, more than two, right? Any number of test sets. But in your case, you will be adding only the ones that you created yourself. So ACT 30 is the number of the task, and the number of the test case is ACT 431. Okay, and now I am going to create a new test execution. Issue type should be selected test execution. And in the summary, I will put the names of those, right? Assignment group. And the second one, I don't remember which one. Assignment date? No. Doesn't matter. So you will put another name here, right? Assignment group and assignment date, for example. Doesn't matter.
Excuse me, Galina. How many test cases you put right now? Like 1, 433 or all? 433, 432, 433?
Okay, so you in the summary you put the names of your tasks, right? Assignment.
Tasks or sets?
Yes.
Tasks or sets. It doesn't matter because in both tasks and sets you will get the components, right? So make it meaningful. What are you going to be running? Which functional module? This is the summary. And in the description, you will put your name, feedback to, I don't remember, David, David's tasks, and the name of the task, ACT 33 and ACT 30. And those will be the links, right? You will be able to use the links when you create those. Create. And you go to this newly created ticket and it is the issue type test execution, and it will have this add button here. And you click on this add button and you will select tests or test sets. You can, gosh, you will add tests from test sets. And you start typing your test sets, ACT, the ones that you put down, 2, 4, 5, okay, and it is recognized. And the second one, ACT, 4, 3, 1, and add selected, and they will be here. So you created, you added to our active board. So it will be in our backlog. And
excuse me.
685. So I can go to the backlog and I will find it in the backlog. 685. You can send it to top once you open this, and then you will be able to move it to our current sprint. Okay? Yes, what is your question?
I noticed that you assigned 2 tickets to that testing plan, right? Why two?
Because every one of you guys got 2 tasks for writing the test cases. Therefore,
okay, so they assigned.
Therefore, I want that you provide the work that you have created in this test execution so that it will be run, right, by someone, and it will be reviewed by someone.
And in the real life, like, let's say we are a company, right? We run the company here. So when that happens,
you created some test cases, and there are some new features that you need to execute. Of course, you will add it to your test execution, and you will run it every time you get a new build. So you can create it as many times as you wish, right? And you will be running it several times. It is easy. You just do several clicks. You always can do the search. You will select some tests that are kept in your X-ray repository, right? And you will be able to add them to some new test executions, depending what regression test you need to perform. So therefore, it is essential that your tests have meaningful names, your test sets, and your tests.
Excuse me, Galina,
Yes.
but if we put, we have 2 tasks and we put numbers from our tasks, but later you put 2 test cases, number of 2 test cases or 2 test sets.
Okay.
Or tasks, sorry.
Okay. One more time. So test sets are needed to get it to add them, right? So
yes.
Tasks are needed to indicate your work so that we can identify those. Test sets are necessary to add them to your test execution.
But if I have a lot of test sets,
you have only 2 test sets and a lot of test cases. So if you combine them under one umbrella of one and the same test set, you would just, okay, absolutely, you can add some specific tests from different test sets as well. It is also possible. But in your case, you will add just test sets.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any more questions?
Okay.
Garina, one question. So you said this will automatically go to the backlog and be there, right? And so we're supposed to move it. Are we supposed to move it to our sprint?
Okay. Even if you don't move it, I always can move it. So forget about this. The most important that you create those test executions. I will see them by using my search, right? And I will be able to assign them. But please don't execute your own test sets. This is important. Okay?
Okay. Galina, when you say that don't execute your test sets, is it like they can be executed only once?
Because you have already executed them while you were writing those tests, right?
Yes.
Now I want that somebody else will execute the ones that you have created.
Okay, so so when we put them in the test execution set, are we able to execute them only once? That like we're saving that for somebody else to do it, or
yeah, you will be able to execute them only once.
Oh, okay.
Anytime you need it, yeah, and you will get the results, pass or fail, with the statistics. And then when you need to do it again, you will create a new test execution.
Oh, for every execution, we need a new test execution. Okay, okay, now okay.
Anything else?
So I have a question. So in the future, we can create this test set. For example, group the high priority test cases, or group the low priority test cases. Right?
You can use any logic behind the test execution. You can include some for smoke test, for manual execution, right? You can use some new features and add some of the test cases. So any logic can be applied.
Okay.
Okay. And one more thing that I wanted to show you guys. This is the presentation that I share with you. And I wanted to demonstrate some browser tools that I'm using and that I recommend to you as well. So this is the tool Awesome Screenshot that is really easy to use for capturing screenshots and video recording. And you can go to Google Chrome Web Store and search for any of the extensions, and it is called Awesome oh my gosh, what is the name of it? I don't remember. Awesome Screenshot. Okay, let me copy and paste it here. Okay, here we go. Awesome Screenshot. And you can add it to your browser. And again, I'm working with Google Chrome. This is my favorite. And you see that it has been added already. Once you add it, you will be able, and you can add it to your menu, right? And I will be able to use it from here. For example, I'm going to our page and I need to select the I can do visible part, full page, or selected area. For example, I need to demonstrate that this one is not working properly, right? So I can start from here, or oops, more time. Selected area, and I can extend this one, and then I will capture. Okay, so that now it is good, and I can capture. Why? What is wrong? Okay. Okay. Now it is captured, and I will be able to highlight something or select something and put some text here. So I will be able to underline, or I will be able to do some selections, right? Or I can use some text and type something here, and we'll be able to select the color and the font and the size of the text. And when I click done, it will be saved, right? And then I can download it and use as an attachment to my screenshot. So this is neat. Same for the video recording. And definitely, guys, I recommend to add it and use, and it is free. Okay, any questions? Another tool is Go Full Page. When you get a big page, for example, when I go to our list of users, right? We have a long list here. So I can go to this full page, and it will capture the full page. So, and again, I can download it and then attach it as a screenshot or PDF in any form. Sometimes it is useful. And again, you can get it from Web Store, Chrome Web Store, and it will be Go Full Page, right? So, Go Full Page. Go Full Page. This one. Okay, the next is the window resizer. And again, I added this one. And you can resize our page to different dimensions. And even you can provide your own dimensions here and resize. But we have some important ones for our testing needs, right? Laptop, desktop, different page resolution, and iPad and Mac. Okay, the next one is check my links. So this will be this. It will give the number of valid links and invalid links. So far we have 110 links, and all of them are valid. Okay, the next one will be clear cache. So you all know, guys, that in order to clear cache, you need to do some steps. You can do it from history, and then you will select clear browsing data, and then you will clear cookie and cached images and files. Or if you add this one, you will just click on this icon and it will be cleared. So it saves a lot of time. And the name of this tool is Clear Cache. Again, you go to Web Store and add it to your browser. The next one is Postman Interceptor. Tomorrow, guys, we're starting a new topic. We are going to be working with web services, and we will be working with Postman, and this is the component that allows to capture cookies and requests from the browser. So this Postman Interceptor, if you haven't done so, please download it and install to your browser. We will practice with it. And it is this icon, Postman Interceptor. For now, it is disconnected. And you will have to install Bridge. And again, I will give you instructions how to properly configure your Postman Interceptor. But for now, you just need to add it to your browser. The next one is CrowPath, and people who are working in school, I'm sure that you have already added this one. This tool makes it easy to work with selectors. It allows to identify both CSS and XPath selectors on the web page. So very useful tool for our test automation needs. The next is Wave evaluation tool, one of the many that allows to assess the page from the point of view of accessibility. So it will, this one, okay. And if I click on this wave, doesn't show anything. Okay, it will. Oh, oops. Okay. So it shows the. Wait, function can read. That doesn't work. Quick. Okay, what's wrong with this? Okay, we'll go to home page and one more time. Okay, now good. So it shows the number of errors related with screen readers, contrast errors, some structural elements. So it gives you some information about your accessibility of your page. And again, our application does not support it, so we are not going to use it. But this is just for your information that this wave exists. All right, the next is lorem ipsum extension generates random text. So if you need to, for example, go to quizzes and type lorem ipsum some text in the contextual question, you can generate this random text using this one, and you can select number of sentences, number of paragraphs. Of course, in the question we need one paragraph, but we can generate 17 sentences and that's it. And we can copy and paste it into our input field. So sometimes it is important for your test minutes. Okay, the next one is my favorite. This is the bug magnet. And for example, if we go to our registration page, and click on bug magnets and names, I can select Latin char set or names length or other character sets, for example Japanese, and then they will be generated. Or if I'm working with email, I can select email addresses invalid, no domain, and it will be there. If you're working with some passwords, maybe, do we have the passwords? Nothing for passwords. But we can work with the currencies, right? With different numbers, cities, postcodes, different white spaces, right? Text size as well. So, and some payment cards, right? So you can use PayPal, and absolutely everything is possible working with this bug magnet. I strongly recommend to add this neat tool to your browsers and play with it. Alright, and the next is this web developer tools. This is more useful for web designers, right? So it will give you the number of, again, back to the number of images, display all attributes of the images. Sometimes it is also necessary for accessibility, so we don't have alt name for the our image, so it will not be identified by the screen reader. So it is a lot of important information. So again, I strongly recommend you guys, if you wish, you can play with this tool. What else do we have here? Grammarly. It helps me a lot. You see that every time I start typing, I'm getting some hints on proper spelling and sometimes even on syntax. But I'm using the free option, and it doesn't recommend me really good versions of it. But at least I see some mistakes. Okay. Another one is the JSON editor online. Actually, it is not the browser add-on, but you can download it, and I'm using it in my applications. JSON editor online. So we are going to be working with JSON format of our request bodies and review the response bodies also in JSON format. And to see the results and to identify or verify it, this tool is really neat. So you can see it here. this is the complete JSON document, or you can see it in the objects, right? So you can expand those objects here. You can also work here as well, so you definitely will be able to identify errors quickly. For example, if you are missing some of necessary commas, right, you will be able to identify. It will be shown on the screen, and the tooltip will instruct you where you need to add a missing comma or bracket. So you definitely can live without it, but it is one of the important tools that I'm using all the time. Okay, what else? And this pretty div, and I also have it here, so you can compare two documents. You can download them, or you can add them both here, and you click on execute, and it will show you the difference, the number of lines, and so on. So again, you will be able to add it to your, it is not the browser add-on, but this is a useful tool that you can add to your bookmarks. Any questions? All right, I am going to share this, guys, with you, and you will get the link to this tool so that you will have it, and you will be able to add all those useful extensions to your browsers. Okay, let's have 5 minutes break, and then we will start discussing our interview questions. Okay, guys, are you ready to continue?
Yes.
Yes. All right, then I expect that you will turn on your video, and we will start discussing interview questions as it is done nowadays through Zoom, right? Okay, so let me resume.
Recording in progress.
And anyone would like to share, tell me about yourself story again. This is important. I don't insist, but I encourage you.
Okay.
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a bachelor degree in management. After graduation, I received a license and started my career as an accountant. In my work, I was using ERP software and various accountant applications. I have gained valuable skills that I later were transferred to software QA discipline, attention to details, documentation skills, user experience in various applications. When I moved to the United States, I decided that I wanted to be involved in IT, and I started looking for opportunities in this area. I got interested in the whole process of software testing. I enrolled into a SQA online program. After finishing my training, I completed an internship. Within a few weeks, I realized how much I love software testing. The more I was getting involved into QA, the more I felt that QA is my long-term career commitment. I like to see the results of my work by finding the issues, making improvements, suggestions. I like to learn new things, and this profession gives me a lot of opportunities to learn and grow.
Okay, very good. So practice in front of your family, in front of your friends, so that it sounds very natural, right? So add some enthusiasm, smile, so that you demonstrate that you really like this, okay? Otherwise it is good. Okay, guys, I'm going to share with you the links to some video recordings from Michael's YouTube channel, and it is called job interview tips, I think. And the 3 or 4, the most important ones, guys, you have to review. And it will be some kind of good practice for you to watch them before you go to the interview. So it will raise your enthusiasm and give you more confidence once you watch them again. So this is in addition to the reviewing your own list of questions that you started. I hope that you started working on. So at least it worked for me. I created this list, and every time I was invited for the interview, I will pull it out, go through the most important questions, right? Review them all. So refresh my memory and watch Michael's video. Okay? So I'm going to share the links to those videos. The first one is Tell Me About Yourself. Maybe you have already seen this one. Why should you hire me? Weaknesses, and 10 job interview killers. So the most difficult questions that you need to know the answers to. All right, now let's move to the questions that I proposed for discussion. How do you understand the test analysis? This question came from one of the students. She had it during her interview. How do you understand test analysis? Any suggestions?
I can try.
Sure.
Test analysis is activity to analyze, to find and to analyze all available information to construct the test cases. All that information is called test basis. As test basis, we can use requirements, of course, and test specification and specification for UI. All what we have actually. And after we learned and analyzed all that information, we can start our to create or to list our test possibilities. So we need to list all possible areas we can test. And of course, it can be infinite number of those possibilities, and it's completely unproductive to write all the test cases. So we need to limit that area for our test and choose what we exactly want to test.
Okay. And what is the result of our test analysis? What do you think will it be?
I think more probably test strategy, no?
Requirements. We reviewing test requirements, and test analysis can be done in parallel to test design, right? So we review, we break down our application into some components, right? And then we come up with as a result of our test analysis, we need to, what needs to be tested in the form of some test conditions. And what is test condition? Is it an item or component that can be verified by one or more tests, test cases. It either can be function. So it's the same thing that we have, right? We have our component plan, test design. We have our parameters, right? And we come up with one or more tests to test this or that parameter, like first name, input field, last name, input field. So this is how I understand this test analysis. Analyzing the requirement, and as a result, we create test conditions. So an item or a system, right, that can be verified by one or more test cases. Do you agree? Okay, and how do you understand that you have enough requirements? What questions do you need to ask yourself when you analyze the requirements?
If my test cases will cover the functionality.
Okay.
According to the requirements, I mean.
So how do you understand that you have enough requirements? This is the question.
Good requirements should be clear,
okay,
precise.
Okay. Should you be focused when you want your requirements clear and precise?
I think we should understand what we can do with this application. Who will be allowed to create, delete, or modify some data?
I mean, my functionality of the application.
Okay.
And you can, so to say, create a user story. So how you would use the app and what you expect from app. That's it. I guess essentially that's it.
You're mixing two things, user story and requirements here.
Possible.
Any more thoughts on this?
Maybe we have to, before we have to have some list or notes, I don't know, with some credentials, maybe password.
Okay, you mean date, right?
Date, yeah.
Okay. So I would say that when you are working with the requirements, you definitely have to ask some questions yourself. Who is going to use this application, right? So you need to have a completely understanding of about the users. What will the roles be, right? Or what will they do with the system? So this is number one. Then you definitely need to understand the business goals, so-called specifications, right? Then you need to clearly understand the functional requirements so that there are no ambiguities, so that you fully understand this. What functions will the system perform and how it will perform, right? And the final probably question will be what happens if the system will behave unexpectedly. what kind of error messages will the system have to display. So if you have all positive answers to all those questions, it means that you completely understand, and it means that you have enough requirements. So again, user role, right? Business rules, functional specifications are absolutely clear. Don't have any questions about this, and error messages. The system's behavior, the system's unexpected behavior, and how it will react. Do you agree? And now let's speak about the user story. Artyom mentioned this. How do you understand this? What is a user story?
Again, I can try.
Sure.
User story, it's just notes about what user do or what he or she needs to do on its workplace. So this user story usually written on plain language, I mean usual language that everyone can understand. And they have particular rules, probably. Usually, user story particular rule that have three C. So first, it's card. So it's like the name of the story should be short, and we can put it into card. Mm-hmm. The second one that it's not necessary that we can create the whole user story for one goal. So we can discuss a user story with stakeholders and make it more elaborate step by step.
Okay, I think that you now are moving to the use case, right? And you probably have to differentiate between user story and use case.
Yes, I will do it a little bit later. So again, it's plain language. It just describes what the user needs to do. And user story and use case actually have something common between them because they both describe the end goal, but differently because user story concentrates on what benefit we have and what is the goal of using our application. And user case, it's a little bit different. It's a special format that describes application or function from the business point of view and has particular structure. And this particular structure usually includes some components like actor and precondition, postcondition, and main workflow or path and alternative path. Why do we need user story and use cases? Because use case describes not only goal, but how we can reach that goal. For example, if we talk about application for the library, we can return book. For example, earlier or later, it's like the same workflow, but slightly different. And user story never explains this.
Okay. Very good, and detailed answer. So who is the author of this document? usually.
It's definitely not tester, it's something like product manager and product owner.
Absolutely. So this is the documentation that is created by the product owner. And as you told, it has specific format, right? And it captures who, what, and why in this document. As a role, right? Who I want to action what, and benefit why. For example, in our case, as a teacher, I need a warning of paste detection implemented in submissions so that I could see the answer was copied and pasted. And every user story would have some acceptance criteria. And the acceptance criteria will be that the submissions in review, I will see the warning red icon, based something that is exclamation mark. So why do we need to know about user stories? Because nowadays, guys, in Agile software development model, you will probably not be working with the requirements, but every sprint, a new user story will be added to your active board, and you will be working with this format, and the requirements will be so. New ticket, it will be user story, and it will contain this wording as the role, I need that or that, and the acceptance criteria will be specified in this ticket, in the description. And then you will start writing your test cases based on this user story. Absolutely true. And what is the use case? Absolutely correct. It contains an actor and the flow of events and the post conditions, preconditions, so everything. So it's kind of the detailed scenario of your user story to be implemented. And for example, we can have the user's story. I need to open the door with the key. And we can have different use cases with different keys. Can you come up with different use cases for this user story? I need to open the door with a key. Okay, come up with some use cases.
So use cases is more about the functionality.
Not functionality, but now you can have different scenarios, different keys, right? What kind of keys can exist?
Like father came home and he has his own key and tried to open the door.
Okay, so as a user, I need to be able to open the door with a key. This is our user story. And for example, there may be several use cases. Physical key, right? Card key, touchpad, the one that can use the eye, right? So, and there may be some cases when there are no key, right? So what will be your user stories? And it will be the exact or very detailed description. I come to the door, right? I take the key, I insert the key into the keyhole, I turn it clockwise, I push on the doorknob, I push the door, and I'm able to open the door with the key. So these are different ways. What about the card key?
Maybe you put in the card key into the slot.
Slot, and absolutely. So in every case, in every use case, there will be some different scenarios, some different parameters, right? So this is just a very basic example of the user story, which gives you the description, and use cases that give you some specific examples of application of this user story. Does it make sense?
In our application, user story, how small should it be, for example? I don't know, as a teacher or as a student?
Okay, I will put some user stories on our board, and I will add them to our next sprint backlog. And we are going to work with testing of those user stories. There will be 3 user stories that we'll have to test. Okay? All right, what is the next question? How do you determine what needs to be tested?
Our product owner needs to define what needs to be tested.
That's true, absolutely. Product owner defines the tickets that will be added to our board that needs to be tested during certain sprint. That's one thing. What else? What are other possible resources for us?
We can check test plan to define.
Absolutely, we can check our test plan. And
I heard about release notes.
Good, absolutely. So, and one more resource is our release. Right. Excellent. How do you know that you have enough test coverage?
There should be at least one test case for every requirement.
Okay.
Otherwise,
it's a useful tool to ensure that you have this proper test coverage. You heard it about?
Traceability matrix.
Right, traceability matrix. Can you tell me what is that?
It maps the requirements to the test cases.
Right, and it is, any matrix is a table format, right? So you will create this table and you will map each requirement to specific test case number. And it shows you that everything is covered or not everything is covered yet. Good. What other approaches can exist?
A test matrix.
What do you mean by test matrix?
Like when you have different variables or conditions that you want to combine and do the test and execute the test, like on tape in like rows and columns, you have different conditions.
List of requirements.
This
should be implemented.
This is already the test matrix, right?
Yeah.
Traceability matrix. We have already mentioned that. You probably heard about this, that there is the code line code coverage approach. And it can be performed by developers or white box testers. There are specific tools and methods that exist that allow to count how many lines of code are covered with unit tests. So this is not for you to perform, but just for your knowledge that this methods exist. Okay. So, and finally, you may say that testing coverage is enough when further testing will not bring any official raise of product or quality. So you compare the value cost against the risks, right? So, and you make the decision on this. Okay, how do you prioritize the testing when you don't have enough time?
Risk analysis.
How do you perform it? What should you do first?
You identify the risks and then analyze them.
So you have the application, right? And you definitely need to select some functionalities or some parts of this application. What will be your thinking about this? Which should be tested?
So we need to we need to prioritize the most important functionality. Okay. If it's like, you know, shopping application, we need to be able make sure that everything is work correctly. Like, you know, like put on the cart or like payment details, everything. And if it's like, I don't know, educational, for example, application, we need to make sure that all visible details are for user will be covered, and some task for user, for student, I believe, they will be like, you know, not broken, like that. And
you say important or critical to them?
Yes, critical.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. What else?
I don't know, security maybe, if it's like a bank application or some payment application, it will be very critical.
Okay.
To check it. It depends, I believe, from what the type of application we check, and if you don't, we have enough time. And then when we check everything, you know, do the risk analysis, then all like not important components will be tested in the like maintenance process.
Okay, but what we are not dealing with security, but we have our application. What critical parts, right? Definitely, quiz creation is one of the critical parts. Login will be our critical part. What other things you need to keep in mind when you do your risk assessment?
If
what about new features?
Not enough time, probably we need to execute mostly positive test cases.
Oh,
okay.
I think we have to also tell about that manager.
Okay, this is not a good answer. If you want to go to the manager, managers do not like this. They, of course, they are taking decision makers, but they want your proposals, suggestions. So you never ask them questions if you don't have something in mind to propose. You see? Otherwise, it will not be good for you. Okay, so you said the most critical ones. Probably the ones that are most often visited by the users, right? This is also needs to be taken into consideration. What about new features? You are working on some implementation of the new features, right? And you don't have enough time to do anything else, but the new features will be your number one, right? What else? Something that frequently changes, right? You definitely need to keep that in mind and go back and see whether it was changed again and several sprints before, and you probably will visit this and retest it again. Okay? If your application has some public access, right, and any part of the application is governed by some government or legal agencies, right, you definitely need to visit and retest those parts as well. Any more questions, maybe additions? Maybe I missed something that you think important, guys? Maybe one more thing. The ones that caused you problems in the past, and you know that, for example, your application was not properly working on this specific browser version or on this specific mobile application, mobile device, and you definitely will go and retest it there as well. So the ones that caused you problems in the past. Okay, and when will you stop testing?
Maybe when nothing changed. I mean, number of defects, they don't increase.
Okay, let's think from this point of view. So you are testing during the sprint, and you have to execute a number of test cases, and you have to fix some bugs. So when will you stop testing?
When
you can... Go ahead.
Maybe when 100% requirements coverage is achieved.
Okay, that's good. Absolutely. Okay. And you completed all those test cases, right? What else?
All major bugs.
Meaning
there is no showstoppers.
One at a time, please.
When all major bugs are fixed and there is no showstoppers.
Absolutely. All defects are addressed and resolved. Absolutely.
And the software
and your test cases have passed. Maybe not all of them, but at least some certain percentage, right? Like over 90% or over 90% of your test cases passed with successful result. Good. So what else? And probably the deadline, right, is met. So it is the budget also is spent. And you also need to think about some documentation that you need to test deliverables, right? When your reports are ready in place, then you may say that I'm done with testing. Do you agree? Anything else you would like to add, guys? All right, and what is our last question? Oh, not the last. The developer closed your bug, saying this is a feature. What will you do?
You have to check, compare with requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a feature, we have to close it. The bug.
Maybe we have to talk. We check the requirements. Talk with product owner, clarify, and after that, close the bug or no.
Mm-hmm. So what will be your actions, guys? So you got...
Maybe compare it to a similar feature, the similar product, and then maybe talk to manager.
Okay, manager. You need to do your homework first before you go to the manager. So what will be your own actions?
To make sure if he writes right or not.
Okay, then first of all, you definitely need to communicate with the developer, right? So you need to establish good relationship with him or her, right? You will ask the questions to understand why they don't agree with you. And also you may provide your own point of view to this and have a nice productive discussion. Okay, so if the developer doesn't get your point, right, or doesn't fully understand the severity of your steps, or you review this again. Make sure that your bug is reproducible, that it is in conformity with the requirements, right? So you definitely can do it on your own computer. You can use another computer. You can talk to your teammates from your QA team and ask them to reproduce this bug again, so that you see that this bug really exists. Make sure that you are not reporting an invalid bug. Check the build version, right? Check the data so that it is really valid problem. And only if you and developers still have different point of view and you are 100% certain that this will be a big danger for your application, you will need to escalate this issue to your manager. And the manager will take the decision on that. And there is a warning, right? Sometimes you are right, sometimes you are not right. But you definitely need to... It is not a win-win game between you and the developer. So you need to keep good relationship with the developers.
How often does it happen in real life?
Quite often. And it may be that the developers, they know the application, right? And you may be new to this, right? You definitely may not know all the little details of this application. But it is not a big mistake, right? You see the problem, you can reproduce it, you double check that this bug hasn't been reported already, you file it, and make a decision during this bug triage meeting whether this bug is real or not real. Okay, and what will you do? What will your actions be if the bug is found by the customer?
I will contact this customer to ask him and find out what was the environment he used, and then try to reproduce this bug. If the bug really exists, so I will report it immediately.
Okay. Any other opinions?
Reproduce it, and then if it can be reproduced, then file a bug report.
Okay, and what?
And write a case.
Good.
I mean, other than that, you can also just to look nice in front of your prospective employer, you can say that you would say thank you to the customer who found it, that you would apologize for that to happen and stuff like that.
Okay, guys.
So that they know that you can handle the situations like that.
I doubt that you will ever have direct communication with the end users. You know that in every application that is developed and supported, right? There will be another level between you and the end customer, which is called the customer support. Because you will not be able to accept each and every request. So there may be hundreds and thousands of users of your application, right? And this special service is used to accept the incident reports. And in most cases, the customer support will be able to resolve those issues. And only if it is related with the content issue of your question or the functional issue of your application. For example, it doesn't calculate the actual points or some other issues. Then the customer support will create a specific ticket, right? And you will be representative, or one of your team will be representative, this tier between the customer support and your team. And you will try to reproduce this. You will file another bug, and this bug will be added to your active board. It will be, again, discussed during the bug triage meeting. The decision will be made on whether it needs to be fixed as soon as possible. But most of the bugs that are found by the customers, if they're especially major bugs, right, they have to be fixed as soon as possible. You definitely will write a test case for this. And you probably will also include this into your regression suite so that in the future, you will not have it. Okay? Okay, guys. This is all I have to discuss with you today. And as I said, I will give you the links to those important video recordings made by Michael. Just watch them and use them. Use his tips. Okay, any more questions, guys?
So you have we have one more question about what is a test case and what do you need to begin writing test cases?
Say again.
In our list of questions, we have one more question which we didn't discuss. It is about what is test cases and what do you need for writing.
Okay, go ahead and answer this question.
So, a test case it is a set of action which needs to verify a functionality of our system, and for writing test cases could be requirements, or if we don't have it, we can based on our exploratory testing. If we use the application for the first time, PRD documents, BRD.
Okay.
Maybe someone will add something. This is what I have.
Okay, can you give me the definition of the test case?
So the test case, it is a set of actions which you need to perform to verify the functionality of the feature of the entire system.
of the entire system, or what?
What features?
We have to verify just one test condition, right? And what will it include?
In our test case?
Test case, yes.
Oh, it is a title or a purpose. It is some instruction. It is our expected result and precondition if needed. But it's not.
And probably test data as well. So
yes, test data. I missed it.
Okay, so we are verifying only one test condition, not the entire functionality, but just one. So it contains only one output.
Yeah. Yes, sounds logic. Yeah.
Okay.
So this means that one functionality can have multiple test cases. This is
That's
yeah.
But with each test case, we verify just one output.
Mm-hmm.
And it has some specific format that we have the title, we have the steps to produce. It may or may not be preconditions. We definitely need to provide some test data.
Data, yes, and expected.
And expected result. What about actual result?
Actual result we don't need to provide because it can be different. For example, different time when we do our test case, the actual result can be different. So
right. So different formats of test cases may have or may not have the actual result. So if you're working with the Excel spreadsheet, right? So you write those test cases, and at least I was doing that. And expected result was one and the same for everyone. And then I would add the date of my test execution in a separate column. And I would put the actual result on that date. And then I will do either pass or fail. And in our case, since we're using our test execution, right, you will have the nice software that will show you pass or fail, and you will be able to do attachments, right, the comments. I demonstrated this too. Do you want me to show it one more time, how to perform those test executions?
We just need to, add in our test execution our two test set, and that's it. Did I understand right?
1 second, let me show you our test execution. Okay, so this will be our test execution.
Could you please share it?
That I created. Okay. And here, while you will be executing this, you can click on execute. And the test case will have all the steps with actual result, right? And you can do either pass or fail.
For each step we do.
For each step of this test execution. If you see some discrepancies here, you can click on comment. And you will provide some comment and add it. And it will be here in the comments. You will be able to read it. If, for example, it will pass, right? It will fail. And then you will be able to create a bug from here, and it will be associated from here. Create a defect. And it will be a bug already, right? And you will provide the summary and all the steps, and you can easily create it from inside of your test execution. Or you will be able to do an attachment. You will choose the file from your, from your computer and make a screenshot using our awesome screenshot or some other tools, right? And do this attachment.
What if this test cases already have related bug?
Then you will just put it as failed, and it will already have your bug report attached to it, linked to it. That's it. Okay, guys, and I expect that you, while you will be executing this, you will provide your comments, right? You can do it after or inside those, so that you can share your feedback with your people. Okay. Any more questions, guys, before I finish? All right.
Recording stopped.
Do you need my help with your questions?
I want to ask one more about this.
Okay, go ahead and ask now.
Okay, Okay, I mean, if, for example, I made this case and I already attached bug report, so will we see it when we execute?
Yes.
So to avoid duplication, we don't need to just
you don't need
fail
it.
that
If you know that it is already there, you don't need it. Alright, guys, so I will put the home assignment for you. And tomorrow we are going to start a new theme, new topic, and it will be web services testing, and we will work with requests, creating the request in Postman. So if you haven't done so, please download Postman. People from Michael's course, you need to download, and I will put the instructions how to download Postman. Native application, not the browser version, but native Postman. Okay? Alright, guys, thanks again for being so active, and I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.